The Crysknife, emblematic of Fremen culture and spirituality, represents a profound symbol within Arrakis's intricate social and religious fabric. Forged from the tooth of a giant sandworm, Shai-Hulud, these weapons are not just tools of combat, but sacred artifacts imbued with spiritual significance, embodying the essence of the desert planet and its colossal deities. The reverence accorded to the Crysknife by the Fremen extends to stringent laws governing its exposure and use. The prohibition against allowing an off-worlder to witness a Crysknife and subsequently attempt to leave Arrakis would need a Freeman's permission. This rule, rigorously enforced, hints at the undercurrents of violence and secrecy that pervade the Fremen's interaction with the outside world, where the Crysknife serves as a boundary marker between the Fremen and those alien to their ways. The sacrosanct nature of the knife is further exemplified by the edict that once unsheathed, the blade must not be returned to its scabbard until it has drawn blood, even if the wielder must turn it upon themselves. To sheathe an unblooded Crysknife is to commit an affront to the sacred essence of Arrakis itself, invoking the ire of Shai-Hulud and potentially courting disaster for the entire Fremen community. The Crysknife is more than a weapon. It is a totem, a conduit of the divine, and a keeper of laws. Its usage and the surrounding rituals encapsulate the Fremen's connection to their environment, deity, and cultural heritage. The knife itself, milky white, was derived from the tooth of a sandworm. The procurement of these teeth, a rare and serendipitous event, occurs only upon the discovery of a deceased worm. From this, the Fremen carefully extract the teeth to be taken back to their sietch for ritual blessing and the subsequent crafting. The manufacture within the sietch results in two distinct types, fixed and unfixed blades. The fixed blade, treated through exposure to electric currents, is permanently stabilized, preserving it indefinitely. This process fixes the blade's inherent electric field, rendering it a lasting artifact, immune to the degradation that characterizes its unfixed counterpart. In contrast, the unfixed knife, embodying a more ephemeral and intimately connected nature to the Fremen's way of life, maintains its integrity only when in contact with the living human body. This necessity for a constant connection to a human's electric field ensures that the blade quickly deteriorates once separated from its bearer, and dissolves into nothingness within hours. This was done both for symbolism and so that if a Fremen ever died or was captured, the knife would shatter or disintegrate. Traditional steel blades balance hardness and flexibility but face limitations in achieving thin, sharp edges due to steel's inherent properties. The heat treatment process involves hardening and tempering, which is crucial in optimizing the blade's properties. However, steel's characteristics limit the sharpness and durability of the edge. Materials like ceramics and obsidian offer exceptional sharpness due to their hardness, allowing finer edges. Obsidian creates edges that are finer than those of steel razors, and ceramics maintain sharp edges due to their brittle nature. However, the trade-off for this extreme sharpness is brittleness. While ceramic and obsidian can achieve a sharper edge, they lack the flexibility and toughness of steel. They are more susceptible to chipping and shattering, especially under impact or when used against hard materials. This makes them less ideal for applications where the blade might be subjected to rough handling or combat. The Crysknife melds the best attributes of steel and ceramic blades, as hard as the sharpest obsidian, allowing it to maintain a keen edge. Yet, it possesses the flexibility and resilience of high-quality steel. This hybrid characteristic makes the Crysknife a formidable weapon in the Dune universe, capable of withstanding vigorous combat demands while offering superior cutting performance. Yet despite its advanced properties, the Crysknife has its vulnerabilities. Like an over-hardened steel blade, it is still prone to chipping and breaking under extreme force. This suggests that while the Crysknife represents an ideal in blade technology, it is bound by the fundamental trade-offs between hardness and toughness, like all materials. Beyond its sacred and symbolic significance, it incorporates elements of lethal practicality, particularly in its tip design. This part of the blade, formerly the nerve channel of the sandworm's tooth, is traditionally imbued with a potent poison, derived primarily from the toxic flora endemic to the Arrakis Desert. The Fremen maintain an ethical stance regarding using this poisoned tip. It reflects a deeper cultural ethos that differentiates between combat among humans, especially those deemed worthy of respect, and the necessity of defense against predatory creatures of the desert. Resorting to poison, especially in duels or conflicts where honor is at stake, is typically eschewed. The Fremen prefer to engage respected adversaries with the blade's edge rather than its poisoned tip, reserving the latter for threats considered less honorable or more bestial. In its craftsmanship, the Crysknife's design draws inspiration from the kinjal, a long knife prevalent across the Empire, known for its effectiveness in close combat and its distinctive blade length, mirroring that of the Crysknife. The adaptation of the kinjal's design principles in mounting the Crysknife's blade to its handle signifies a melding of traditional and local craftsmanship, producing a weapon that is both a functional tool of war and a symbol of Fremen identity. The evolution of the Crysknife from an off-world kinjal-inspired design to a distinctive weapon uniquely emblematic of Fremen culture illustrates the dynamic interplay between tradition and adaptation. While both the kinjal and the Crysknife share similarities in blade length and functionality, they diverge significantly in their design features, particularly in the shearing guard. The kinjal, recognized for its stout guard, provides substantial protection for the user's hand during combat, reflecting its design optimization for close quarters fighting and utility across the broader empire. In contrast, the Crysknife, while initially mimicking the kinjal's structure, evolved to feature only the raised lips of its round handle at the juncture with the blade. Rather than a design deficiency, this minimal guard signifies a deliberate adaptation to the specific combat styles. Initially, the Crysknife's resemblance to the kinjal likely served to ease the transition for Fremen accustomed to the imperial standard of weaponry, reflecting their historical engagement and service within the Empire's martial traditions. However, as the Fremen's identity coalesced around their distinct environmental and experiences on Arrakis, so too did their tools of war evolve to reflect their unique societal and ecological niche. The streamlined guard of the Crysknife, aside from being a design element, carries a cultural narrative of the Fremen's increasing separation and independence from the imperial influences. The Crysknife's design, stripped of unnecessary elements, reflected the Fremen's ethos of functional minimalism and spiritual symbolism, embodying their essence as a people shaped by and inextricably linked to the desert environment. One could posit that the knife encapsulated the fusion of practicality, spirituality, and cultural identity that defines the Fremen. The Crysknife is enveloped in profound mythology, signifying its status as more than a weapon, but as a sacred artifact intimately tied to the identity and honor of its bearer. The reverence for Crysknives transcended their physical utility, elevating them to objects of deep personal and communal significance. Fremen used these blades in battle and imbued them with individual names. This sanctity extended to the care and legacy of the Crysknife, zealously protected throughout the owner's life and even in death. Unlike other possessions, which were integrated back into the sketch's resources, the Crysknife's handle was singularly honored with a form of burial on the funeral plain, following the return of the owner's water to the communal reservoir. The Crysknife is a remarkable testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the Fremen. It embodies their fierce independence and deep connection to their unforgiving world. As we explore the intricacies of this iconic weapon, we gain deeper insight into the social fabric of the Fremen and a better understanding of our universe.